How about you? I just bought something that I think should be standard on this tractor. Let me show you what it is. This is my T754, and it, believe it or not, it does not come with a temperature gauge. It's only got an idiot light. If you're running this thing in the heat and you're bush hogging and all this good stuff, guess what? The only time you get to figure out if it's hot or not is if the light goes on. If that light comes on, you'll know. And to me, that's too late. You know, so we're gonna remedy that today. Remedy. We're gonna remedy that today. Man, that's hard for a redneck to say, you know? Gamo. I can't do it by myself because I'm not smart enough. So I've got a community that is awesome, just like you guys that are watching, and they're gonna help me with it, especially Wade from Sabine River Valley. And go check out his YouTube channel. He's got a 654, but he showed me what to buy, and he's actually gonna call me here in just a minute and walk me through the process of getting all this set up, right? So let me show you what I bought, and I'll put the links to all this in the description below. And I got all these links from Wade, so I can't take credit for none of that. But let me show you what I got. And the total was about $300, give or take a couple bucks. All right, so you got to buy, here's the cheap stuff, right? You've got to buy this 8-pin connector set, and it only, oh, I need to say this right quick, right? It only works for a Deutz engine. So if you have a Coupe J or any other type of tractor, I'm not sure that this is going to be right for you. But if you got 654 or 754, then this is what you need right here. This is an 8-pin connector that we're going to use. This is a gauge pod that we're going to use, and that's what's going to get set up on the dash so that we can put the actual pod onto the dash here. Let me get rid of all this propaganda here. Yeah, it comes with a mounting bracket, mounting screws here. So this pod is like this. It's going to set on your dash, and I'll show you more about that here in just a second. And then here's what the expensive part was. The expensive part was this bad hammer knocker right here. This is your digital readout here, and this plug is what we're going to wire into the 8-pin connector here. And there's a certain way you got to do it. There's a CAN relay or CAN bus you've got to connect to, but we're going to just protect that right quick. But anyway, this gauge is going to go into this pod, and this wire is going to connect to this wire. We're going to wire it in, but we need Wade's help. So we're going to wait for Wade to call. And as soon as he calls and walks me through the process, we'll get it loaded up on the video and we'll show you how it works. He's already cut. He used a flail mower, and he ended up cutting a lot of thick stuff in the middle of the heat of the day in Texas where he's at. And he was like, man, I'm telling you, just having because it's going to do more than temperature, by the way. It's going to have a load range. It's going to have like your turbo boost. It's going to have a bunch of other options that you can read on it. But just having that temperature gauge at your fingertips is worth the price of the gauge, is what he was telling me. I'm excited about it. Why TYM did not put this on this tractor is beyond me. Let's put it on here, and let's be able to work this tractor safely in the heat. All right, I just walked through the whole process with Wade. Let me show you how it works. You're going to need your red wire, your black wire, your blue wire, and your blue with white stripe wire. So that's the only 4 wires you're going to need. Blue is CAN bus low, blue with white stripe is CAN bus high, and then red and black is your power and ground. Simple enough. You're going to take the male ends of this little kit that you get here, that little 8-pin. How you doing? Take the male ends that you're going to have, and then you're going to extend the wires about 12 to 14 inches, somewhere around, and then put them into your connection here. Now, let me show you the inside of the tractor. So you're only going to use black, red, blue with white stripe. Here's what you're going to do inside the tractor. You're going to need a pick. You're going to need a 12 millimeter and a 10 millimeter. Take the bolts loose here. These are 10s off the side because we're going to use that to loosen this up. And there's a 12 right here and 2 12s underneath the steering wheel. All right, so you got one right here and you got one right here. So remove or pull that back. When you pull this back, this is what you're looking for, this bad hammer knocker right here. All right, it's going to be 6 wires in there. It's going to be black, red, blue, orange, brown, and green. And you know, this is super important. I hope it focuses on that. But there's 2 empty slots. And the reason I'm telling you this is because the orientation of where you put your wires is going to be important. Don't put them in the empty slots. Put red on red, black on black, blue and orange on the blue and white stripe ones. All right. The orientation of your wires are going to be super, super important. So now that we've got that done, just disassemble that. That's easy. Let me just take the screws out and pull that back, right? But you want to make sure, check this out right here. See how I've got the empty slots? So this is my red, my black, my blue, and my blue and white stripe here. And I've got this empty one, and then these 2 in the middle are empty. So you're going to go your power and ground, and then the outside is the ones you want. Your blue and brown and orange wires inside the tractor. I hope that makes sense. And for your reference on here, brown is blue and orange is blue and white. Brown is blue, orange is blue and white for these wires here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder all this together, get it nice and neat, and then I'll show you connecting it inside the tractor. Got all the wires soldered, got the heat shrink on them or whatever. So blue is blue, yellow is blue and white, black is black, and red is red. Of course, I forgot to put the black heat shrink on there, so electrical tape's gonna have to work. All right, I'll get all this cleaned up and then put it back in the tractor. By the way, you're gonna have a lot of extra wires. Don't worry about them. I'm just gonna take these off. Kind of clean up my mess here. So the hardest part about this is finding out what's the CAN bus high and the CAN bus low. Everything, I mean, it's only 4 wires, like Wade was telling me. So it's, you know, it's not super, super technical. But once we get this thing fired up, I'll show you the menu inside it as well. So that's something you're going to have to take into consideration is the menu. That should be, need some wire loom. I don't know what it's looking like on the screen, but that's going to be good enough right there. Plugged in. Now let's go put it in the tractor. Now I'm going to do my best not to get in y'all's way. But simply, I'm just going to run the wires up, you know, behind the dash here. So that's going to go in the, this is the easy part, right? Just going to set it right there. And then I'm going to put the, man, I hate y'all can't see that. Y'all just bear with me. I'm just going to take this, what we just made, and I'm going to plug it into the, remember, the 8-spot, the 8-plug one here. Y'all just going to have to trust me that it gets plugged in. Y'all heard that click? Okay. Nice and out of the way. Just tuck those wires up in there nice and neat. And then we'll put this bad hammer knocker back together and I'll show you how it goes. You put your 12mm bolts back in here. So let me try the 10mm bolts first and let's see. That was solidified. Salt, make it a little easier to. Can't see that. Come on. Probably helps when you grab the right bolt. Technique only. Alright, so I got this one started. I'm not going to tighten down any of them. And then a 12 goes here. And then the 2 12s under the steering column. So let me get those right quick. Now we got to put the gauge, the cluster on the dash. I've already cleaned it and all this stuff. Now, when you do this, this is going to go behind here like so. Oh no, please tell me I was supposed to go to small end first. That's awesome. Put the small end in first. What I can do though is I can just Dremel out. I can Dremel out this casing and it'll be fine. So lesson learned. Make sure your wiring harness is in your gauge pod before you connect it downstairs. Golly, dummy. All right, crisis averted. I was able to make the hole bigger in the back of the unit there. It also comes with a piece of tape. We may or may not use that. So we're going to put this back in here very carefully. All right. Now I'm going to pull it out some. Wrap the tape around the gauge and see how that works. I like to try to get as much dirt as possible on it, you know, before, so it sticks better with all the dirt on it. Golly. I'm trying to just get it real close to the rim here, or the ring, or whatever you call it. And then that should be a compression type fitting. Let's see how that works. I did have to modify the back of the gauge pod, but other than that, it's okay. All right. Yeah, there you go. That works out pretty nice. Now I'll take the double-sided 3M tape off, and we are cooking with peanut oil. Come on, driver. Yeah, Wade really helped me out a lot. So thank you, Wade, if you're watching. He's got a YouTube channel called Sabine River Valley. So if you want to look at what he does with his T654, make sure you go subscribe to his channel. He's a really good dude. I met him at the farm show a couple years back, and we've been buddies ever since. I've met a lot of you guys at the farm show. All right, here we go. Nice and centered. Let me get my Allen wrench to tighten that down with. All right. Y'all ready for the big reveal? I know I am. Here we go. Ready? All right. Pick this bad hammer knocker up. $104 degrees. And you cycle through. There's my battery voltage. Liters per hour on my fuel, which I ain't concerned about that. It does not read your fuel gauge, I don't think. Some information it's not going to read. Does read your RPMs good. Really, that's what I wanted right there, is my temperature gauge. 107, 109. Let's see, yeah, 111. I think this means no GPS right there. The menu items, and you can set up what you display, what you don't display. I'm just going to keep it on temperature. Every now and again, I might keep it on my load and see how much load I've got on the engine or whatever. So we got it from Bill Nichols, who's got a 754, and he's got a ton of modifications on his 754. Find him on YouTube. I can't remember his channel name, but he's in the TYM owners group. So Bill, if you're watching this, thank you so much for what you do for our community. Wade, thank you so much for helping me walk through this. I hope this video helps somebody that's got a 754 that wants a temp gauge on it. Blue, brown, red, and black. 4 wires. Your brown is your blue. Your orange is your blue and white. Man, I hope I said that right. Red and black's all, power and ground. Okay, that's it. So you guys go check out Sabine River Valley. I'm gonna keep an eye on this temperature gauge and see exactly what happens when I go down the road on my. Let's see this. Let's see if it stays on your same setting as you. Okay, it does. It goes back to a temperature gauge, so that's good. That's it. I appreciate you guys watching. Take care. God bless you guys.